Even though real estate may have been the sector that has resulted in the greatest amount of wealth creation, many people are still reluctant to invest in the sector. The majority of people have the misconception that they must begin with some form of capital, although this is not always the case. To open escrow, the one magical ability you really need is the ability to come up with the money, and we're usually not talking about a lot here. Even if you were just starting out in the real estate business, it is possible to generate money if you are competent and know what you are doing. People generally have the misconception that it is simpler to generate money online than it is to make significant currency through investments in real estate. However, if you don't know what you're doing, either one can be challenging. You will be able to make progress once you have gained an understanding of the landscape and the way forward. The following is a list of things that are not required in order to make money in the real estate market. You do not require credit, even if you have low credit. There are ways to advance if you are motivated enough to make the effort. Several of the approaches that are going to be covered in this video do not in any way depend on credit. In point of fact, a significant number of today's prosperous real estate investors got their start with either no credit or poor credit. You don't need a big amount of capital. If you want to earn money in real estate, all you need is a few $100 to open escrow. You don't need capital to make money in real estate. Obviously, this entails looking for homes with lower asking prices or properties that are in crisis and flipping contracts on them. Finding private investors or hard money lenders who are willing to work with you to close deals is another aspect of this. This might also apply to the remodeling of your property as long as you are skilled at tracking down the necessary funds. Another common misunderstanding is that in order to buy a piece of property or secure a contract, you need to put up large assets as collateral. This is not the case. You do not need to carry out this step, but you are required to have an understanding of how creative finance operates. The majority of folks simply come to a complete halt because they have this preconceived notion about what they believe is necessary before they can get started. 1. Long-term residential rentals. Leveraging long-term residential buy and hold rentals is one of the most frequent strategies for creating money in real estate. People will always be in need of a place to live, and because of this, investing in rental houses is always a good idea. To successfully source your property, you need to conduct the appropriate amount of due diligence by keeping in mind these three guiding principles: location, location, and location. You probably have heard this expression before, but when it comes to real estate, location is the most important factor. Not only does this apply to a real growth in the asset value over time, but it also applies to your capacity to swiftly rent out that property to a tenant who is interested in renting it for an extended period of time. When looking at residential rentals for the long term, the location is one of the most important factors to consider. This is more essential than the physical condition of the property at the present time. In point of fact, rundown houses that are located in desirable areas make for some of the most lucrative investments possible. 2. Lease with option to buy. Lease options are a terrific way to get started in the real estate market without having to initially put up a big amount of funds or even having to have excellent credit. This may be a significant advantage for prospective investors. You are leasing with the opportunity to buy the property later on. Because you are establishing a price at which you will be able to acquire the property at a later date, this strategy is one that is likely to be successful when the value of real estate is rising. You could be able to get a better deal on that property if, for instance, the price of real estate goes up significantly. You also have the option of going the other way and selling your rights to someone else after making that purchase. The clear bet to make in this situation is on the bull market in real estate. As long as this is an option that you can exercise and not something carved in stone that states you are required to purchase the property at the end of the lease anyway, then there is a good chance that you will end up making a profit from it. 3. Home renovation flips. The culture of quick profits through renovation and resale has proliferated rapidly. The classic renovation flip industry is currently seeing a significant rise as a direct result of the popularity of home improvement shows. Even though there is the potential for one to make a significant amount of money in this arena, navigating these waters in the beginning can be challenging. If you don't have the necessary knowledge or experience, you run the risk of making a poor choice of home and ending up in a financial bind as a result. 4. The trading of contracts. To generate money in real estate without having to put up a significant amount of capital or credit, one option to make money is to flip contracts. Find a seller who is in financial hardship and a buyer who is driven, and then put them together. That's all there is to it. Clothier has made the entire process of discovering a seller in trouble much easier by systematizing it, despite the fact that it may seem like it would be difficult. The key to successful contract flipping is to zero in on sellers who are in financial crisis and track down ready-to-act buyers. You no longer need to go out and look for a buyer after you've signed a contract because you've eliminated the necessity to bring these parties together. Because of that, the risk level is higher. Instead, you can easily sign into a contract with the assurance that you won't be trapped needing to close escrow on the property if you find the sellers and the purchasers in advance and locate them before you start the process. 5. Vacation rentals. The market for real estate might provide a lucrative opportunity for profit in the form of vacation rentals. Not only is it possible to generate some additional revenue from vacation rentals as a side hustle, but if you live in an area that sees a high volume of tourist foot traffic, you also stand a good chance of generating a sizable amount of money and establishing a substantial passive income stream from them. It is common knowledge that areas with a large concentration of tourists, such as Los Angeles and Miami, have a strong demand for short-term rentals. For a very long time, the vacation rental industry has been something I've had a lot of faith in. What's the best part? You don't even have to own the properties in order to make money off of them. Some of the most successful property management companies in the world that focus on vacation rentals do not really own the homes that they manage, but they do provide a luxurious and satisfying experience for their customers. 6. Commercial real estate. Putting money into commercial real estate can be one of the best ways to amass a sizable fortune through the market for real estate. Developers of commercial real estate focus not only on flipping buildings but also on developing them, which involves adding value to properties in order to raise their net incomes through the use of improvements such as restorations and upgrades. In addition, they offer consulting services for projects that may require the expertise of more seasoned real estate investors to bring to completion. I hope you get some knowledge of this make money in real estate. And make sure you like, subscribe, turn on bell notifications for more content like this. Thanks for watching.